Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the really fascinating world of the global field service management market.
hmm
Now, field service management, or FSM, maybe you're wondering what that actually is.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Think about all those services that happen outside an office, right?
hmm
Your internet tech, the HVAC person, plumbers.
Exactly. Anyone fixing or installing things out in the field.
Right. And FSM is basically the tech and systems used to manage all that, scheduling, dispatching, making it all work smoothly.
Getting the right person to the right place at the right time, essentially.
Precisely. And our insights today, they're coming straight from a pretty comprehensive report by Cognitive Market Research.
Yep. Solid data.
So our mission here is to, unpack the key insights, look at the growth forecasts, which are pretty remarkable, I have to say, and understand what's really driving this industry's expansion over the next, 10 years or so?
That's the plan. It's a dynamic space.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So what's fascinating here right off the bat is the scale and the trajectory. The global FSM market.
Mm-hmm.
It was valued at just over $3.1 billion back in 2021.
Okay, 3.1 billion.
Yeah. And it's projected to hit more than $5 billion by 2025.
Already a big jump.
But then, get this, it's forecasted to soar to an impressive $13.4 billion in 2033.
Wow. Okay, that's huge.
It really is.
Right.
That represents a significant compound annual growth rate, a CGR of 12.8% over that whole period.
Right, CGR, that's the average growth per year, smoothing out the bumps.
Exactly, yeah. It shows the overall trend. And, to really get a handle on where this massive growth is happening, we need to look at the specifics, regional breakdowns, country level, and crucially, why these places are growing at different speeds.
That's a staggering jump, nearly quadrupling in about a decade. And yeah, you're right, the regional details are key. So let's start maybe with North America. It's usually a big slice of the pie in global markets.
It is, yeah.
Is it still growing strong, or is it more, mature?
Well, North America's figures are definitely robust.
Yeah.
Still showing steady expansion. The market there was around $1.2 billion in 2021.
Okay.
And it's projected to hit over $4.6 billion by 2033. So still an impressive 11.9% CAGR.
Almost 12%. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And what seems to be driving it there is maybe less about first-time adoption and more about optimization.
Oh, okay.
Companies are really focused on squeezing out more efficiency, boosting customer satisfaction scores, that kind of thing.
So refining what they already have makes sense. If we zoom in a bit within North America, any particular country standing out?
Oh, absolutely. The U.S., no surprise, is the biggest piece.
Right.
It's projected to more than triple its FSM market size by 2033,
Wow.
growing at a steady, 11.5% rate each year.
Okay.
But Canada has actually shown really strong acceleration. Its market's set to grow a bit faster, around 13.2% CAGR.
Oh, interesting. Why faster in Canada?
Well, it seems linked to big investments in infrastructure and maybe a stronger push for that digital transformation in service industries specifically.
Got it. And Mexico?
Mexico, too, yeah. Seeing rapid expansion, almost a 12.8% CAGR forecast there,
Uh-huh.
as its industrial and service sectors really start adopting these modern FSM tools.
It's really interesting seeing how that digital optimization plays out differently. Okay, let's hop across the Atlantic. Europe. Always a key player in tech adoption. Here's where it gets really interesting. Are we seeing similar stuff there, like digital maturity or different drivers?
Europe's trajectory is definitely strong. It's growing from, let's see, almost $876 million in 2021 to over $3.5 billion by 2033. That's a 12.3% CAGR. Pretty solid.
Very solid. Similar to North America, almost.
Very similar overall rate, yeah. But what's maybe a bit different here is you've got that diverse regulatory picture, and a really strong focus on sustainability in many countries.
Ah, okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, a lot of European companies seem to be using FSM not just for the usual efficiency gains, but also to actively reduce their carbon footprint through things like optimized routes for their service vehicles, cutting down fuel use, and also predictive maintenance. Fixing things before they break badly means less waste, less emergency travel.
That's a great angle. Linking FSM to green goals, are certain countries leading that charge or showing standout growth in Europe?
Definitely. The UK is showing very strong growth, nearly 13.8% CAGR.
Higher than the average.
Yeah, likely driven by a really competitive service sector there, for everyone looking for an edge. Germany, the industrial powerhouse, its FSM market is projected to more than quadruple by 2033. Think manufacturing, utilities. They're integrating really sophisticated tools.
Makes sense for Germany.
Yeah. And then France, Italy, Spain also seeing significant upward trends. France going from about 76 million to over 311 million. Italy from 70 million to nearly 300 million. Spain 54 up to almost 200 million.
So solid growth across the board.
Pretty much. And it's also worth noting the smaller but often very tech-forward markets like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland.
Right. The Nordics and Switzerland are always quick adopters.
Exactly. Places where innovation adoption is just consistently high. Their FSM markets are all looking at roughly quadrupling or even a bit more over this period. So, yeah, Europe's definitely on a strong path.
Okay. Europe is clearly strong, diverse drivers there. But now, Asia-Pacific, that region often just blows the doors off growth numbers in tech sectors. Is FSM following that pattern?
Oh, absolutely. Asia-Pacific confirms that trend, and it's particularly exciting, I think.
Yeah.
So this region starts from around $651 million in 2021.
Okay, smaller starting point than Europe or North America.
Smaller start, yeah. But it's projected to skyrocket to nearly $3.3 billion by 2033.
Wow.
That means it boasts a 14.4% CAGR.
Okay, 14.4, that's noticeably higher.
It is. It's actually one of the highest CAGRs globally.
Right.
It really signals, a truly transformative period for field services there.
What's driving that extra boost, do you think?
It seems to be less about just more services and more about really rapid adoption of new digital tools, especially in huge markets like China and India.
Right.
You know, maybe where traditional ways of doing things, the older infrastructure, might be less entrenched. It lets them kind of leapfrog.
Leapfrog?
Yeah, jump directly to the modern FSM solutions instead of going through slower, incremental upgrades like you might see elsewhere.
That leapfrogging idea is powerful. So if we look at specific countries in APAC, where is this happening most dramatically?
Well, China is, as you'd probably guess, a massive driver. Its market is projected to grow over fivefold by 2033.
Fivefold, okay.
It just highlights the sheer scale of digital transformation happening there.
Yeah.
India also shows tremendous potential. Its market is also projected to grow over fivefold.
Incredible.
Really points to its, burgeoning service economy, rapidly digitizing those field operations.
So China and India leading that massive growth. What about others? Japan? Australia?
Yeah, Japan, South Korea, Australia also seeing substantial growth. Maybe not quite that fivefold explosion, but still very strong, driven by their, advanced economies looking for even greater efficiency, more sophisticated solutions. Yeah. Japan going from about 107 million to nearly 490 million. South Korea 65 up to over 300 million. Australia, smaller start, 38 million, but up to 220 million.
Okay. And places like Singapore, Southeast Asia.
Yep, significant growth there, too. Singapore nearly quadrupling. Southeast Asia as a block more than quadrupling. Taiwan also showing strong growth. It's really widespread across the region.
Just incredible numbers coming out of Asia Pacific. Really underlines the pace of change there. Okay, what about South America? How are the trends looking there for FSM?
South America's FSM market shows significant growth, too. It's moving from around $221 million in 2021 to nearly $980 million by 2033. That's a 13.2% CAGR.
So strong growth, very much in line with Canada, actually.
Exactly, yeah. Very similar rate. What seems noteworthy there is the increasing investment in infrastructure, plus the expansion of utilities, telecoms.
Right.
And digital FSM tools are just proving crucial for managing operations that are often really geographically dispersed. Think about the distances, the terrain.
Ah, good point. That makes FSM even more essential managing those challenges. Are specific countries leading the charge down there?
Brazil is the major player. Its market is projected to grow nearly fivefold by 2033, from about 85 million up towards 400 million.
Another fivefold increase.
Yeah, Brazil's huge. Argentina and Colombia are also seeing strong double-digit CAGRs. Argentina nearly quintupling, Colombia quadrupling. It reflects their growing industrial and service sectors really adopting these technologies. Peru and Chile showing strong growth, too.
Okay, makes sense. Now, shifting our gaze, the Middle East, what's the FSM growth story look like there? I'd guess energy, construction may be big drivers.
You're absolutely spot on. The Middle East shows growth from around $133 million in 2021 to over $536 million by 2033. It's a 12.5% CAGR.
Solid, steady growth.
Definitely. And yeah, beyond the energy and construction sectors you mentioned, which are huge, there's also a really strong push for smart city initiatives.
Ah, right.
And just general technological innovation. Countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE,
Yeah.
they're investing heavily in digital infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
And FSM is just a critical piece of building those, future-ready cities and services.
That really brings it to life, doesn't it? FSM actually underpinning that smart city vision. Which specific countries are standing out there?
Saudi Arabia looks poised for really significant growth. Its market is projected to more than quadruple by 2033, from about 53 million up towards 220 million.
Okay.
Turkey and the UAE are also strong contributors, driven by expanding service economies and these large-scale developed projects that just demand efficient field ops. Turkey nearly quadrupling, UAE more than quadrupling. Egypt and Qatar also showing good growth.
This paints a picture of just massive global expansion. But I have to say, I'm particularly excited about what the source suggests for Africa. I hear there's some really strong growth, maybe that prime example of leapfrogging we talked about.
You are absolutely right to be excited about Africa. Its revenues are projected to grow from roughly $92 million in 2021.
Okay, smallest starting point.
Smallest start, yeah, but reaching nearly $470 million by 2033. Now, it was truly remarkable.
Yeah.
Africa boasts the highest KGR among all regions. It comes in at 14.5%.
Wow. Higher even than Asia Pacific?
Just slightly, yeah.
Yeah.
14.5%. This is really a region that's rapidly adopting mobile-first solutions, leveraging the digital revolution to tackle service delivery challenges in rapidly growing cities, but also across vast rural areas. FSM becomes critical for scaling up services where maybe that traditional fixed infrastructure is sparse or non-existent.
That leapfrogging in action. The highest KGR globally. That's a powerful signal. Where are we seeing this explosive growth most clearly within Africa?
Well, Nigeria is showing incredible potential. Its FSM market is projected to grow more than fivefold.
Again, fivefold.
Driven by its huge population, that burgeoning tech scene. South Africa is also a key player. Its market also projected to grow nearly fivefold, leveraging its perhaps more established infrastructure to implement quite advanced FSM solutions.
Incredible growth stories across the continent. Okay, so we've gone through the numbers, region by region. We're seeing growth pretty much everywhere, some really standout performers, different drivers. So what does this all mean? What's the big picture takeaway here, the overarching theme behind these global FSM trends?
Well, if we try to connect all these dots, right, the undeniable growth everywhere, but especially those remarkable rates in Asia-Pacific and Africa,
Yeah.
it really comes down to what the report calls digital transformation in field operations.
Digital transformation. Okay.
It basically means companies are moving away from, clipboards and spreadsheets and manual processes.
Right. The old way.
The old way. And moving towards sophisticated tech. Think about mobile apps that give technicians real-time data out in the field, maybe remote diagnostics or IoT sensors on equipment that trigger predictive maintenance before something breaks down.
Proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. Or AI-powered software that figures out the absolute best schedules and routes for hundreds of technicians.
Yeah.
These aren't just like small tweaks. They're fundamental shifts.
Right.
They enable much more efficient, much more scalable, and ultimately, more profitable service delivery. And that's happening on a global scale now.
That makes perfect sense. And for you, the listener, whether you're tracking global business or tech shifts or just curious about where the next big opportunity might be, these changes in FSM are, well, they're incredibly relevant, aren't they?
Absolutely.
It's such a clear signal that these traditional service sectors, they're not just evolving, they're digitizing at speed, creating efficiencies, new possibilities that honestly were hard to imagine even just a few years back.
Yeah, the pace is remarkable.
So summing it all up, this deep dive really shows the global field service management market is in this period of massive, widespread expansion, and it's heavily fueled by digital transformation.
That's the core driver.
It's not just growth, it's a fundamental shift in how services get delivered. That presents huge opportunities, and yeah, it'll undoubtedly lead to shifts in who the dominant players are over the next decade.
No question.
So as field operations keep digitizing so rapidly, here's a final thought for you to maybe mull over. What other traditional sectors might be right on the cusp of a similar transformation? Which industries, maybe ones we don't usually think of as tech-driven, are next to see their field become entirely digital, optimized by AI, IoT, mobile tech?
It's a great question.
Something to think about. And of course, understanding how these regional dynamics play out could influence broader economic trends too. The full cognitive market research report naturally goes even deeper, especially into supplier dynamics. But for now, that gives us a pretty clear picture of this booming market.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to get you informed, fast, cutting through the noise. Today, we're really getting into the fast-growing world of field service management, FSM. Our mission to unpack what's driving this market, the forces behind its growth, the challenges too, and the really exciting trends shaping where it's headed. And we're basing our chat today on insights from a really interesting report by Cognitive Market Research on FSM dynamics and future trends. FSM isn't just some niche tech. It's quickly becoming this kind of hidden engine in huge industries. Think telecom, utilities, healthcare, manufacturing. It really is everywhere, even if you don't always notice it directly. So, okay, let's unpack this. If it's becoming so fundamental, what's actually fueling this big shift? What's the story here?
Well, I think at its core, it's this global push for operational efficiency and optimizing the workforce. It goes way beyond just, cutting costs. These FSM platforms, they're really changing how companies manage their people out in the field. Imagine like a utility company, they can now reroute a technician who's already on a job, maybe for a critical outage nearby. That used to take hours, right? Phone calls, manual coordination. Now it's automated scheduling, real-time tracking, smoother task resolution. It all leads to better productivity, sure, but also much happier customers. It's really about empowering those field teams to work smarter, not just faster.
That real-time flexibility, yeah, that sounds like a total game changer. And talking about speed,
Yeah.
how much is this down to, the mobile tech and cloud platforms we all use now? What does that really unlock for the teams out there?
Oh, it's absolutely fundamental. I mean, think about it. Cloud infrastructure is pretty accessible now, and basically every technician has a smartphone or a tablet, right? So it's not just about getting data anywhere, it's kind of democratizing these powerful tools. Suddenly, a smaller HVAC business can use the same kind of real-time diagnostics, customer history, parts info, stuff that only massive companies could afford before. That seriously boosts their agility, their responsiveness. It makes remote field work truly viable.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So FSM isn't just internal tweaking, it's clearly reshaping that customer interaction too. But with all this tech, is it tricky to meet those rising customer expectations, without losing a human touch?
That's a really good question. Because, yeah, customer-centric service isn't just nice to have anymore. It's critical for loyalty. And FSM tools tackle this directly. They provide like real-time job updates. You get that text saying your tech is 15 minutes away instead of waiting around all day wondering. That's huge. They allow for easy digital communication, even letting customers maybe prepay or sign off digitally. It just speeds up resolutions and builds trust. The aim is really to make getting service feel as smooth as, say, ordering something online.
Right, like that seamless experience we expect now. And it's not only about fixing things better. We're also seeing this big shift towards service-based business models. You see it in manufacturing, healthcare, utilities. It's less about just selling the product, like the washing machine, and more about selling the uptime of that machine, right? How do FSM platforms actually help companies make that pretty big jump?
Yeah, and this is where FSM really becomes a strategic tool, not just an operational one. For manufacturers, like you said, they're moving from selling equipment to maybe offering equipment as a service. FSM is crucial there. It helps manage everything complex, maintenance schedules, service contracts, warranties. It tracks the assets, predicts needs, schedules the proactive visits. It helps guarantee performance and opens up totally new recurring revenue streams. It's fundamental to that shift.
Okay, and wrapping up these drivers, we really have to talk about IoT, the Internet of Things, and predictive maintenance. We hear IoT all the time, but what does it let FSM systems do that they just couldn't before?
Well, by embedding IoT sensors right into the equipment, FSM systems get this constant stream of data. Could be temperature, pressure, vibration, usage cycles. And they use this data to predict breakdowns before they happen. And it's not just simple alerts. It's, complex algorithms analyzing patterns to figure out when a specific part might fail. This drastically cuts down unexpected downtime, avoids those expensive emergency callouts, and shifts service from reactive, firefighting to being proactive and scheduled. It's a whole different way of thinking about maintenance.
So yeah, lots of powerful forces pushing FSM forward. But like any tech wave, there are definitely hurdles. What are some of the biggest things holding organizations back, stopping them from diving into FSM?
Well, one of the main ones, especially if you're talking smaller or medium-sized businesses, is just the significant upfront cost. Budget constraints. I mean, putting in an FSM system isn't just buying the software license. You've got deployment costs, often complex customization needed for specific workflows. Then there's staff training sometimes for people used to paper. And integrating it all with existing IT systems. That can be a really substantial investment, and, it can definitely strain budgets. CFOs get nervous.
Yeah, I could imagine that initial cost is a big gulp. And then beyond the price tag, what about data security and privacy? That seems like a huge concern. Given these platforms use the cloud, mobile devices, handling sensitive customer and operational data, how's that affecting things?
It's a major factor, absolutely. It demands really robust security protocols, solid compliance frameworks. Companies are, quite rightly, very cautious about potential vulnerabilities. You're dealing with addresses, equipment details, service histories, sensitive stuff. So any FSM provider has to show rock-solid security, adherence to rules like GDPR or HIPAA, depending on the industry. And that just adds another layer of complexity and, frankly, cost.
Right, another barrier. And then there's just people. Organizational resistance to change, to digital transformation itself. You see companies, especially ones used to manual processes for years, they struggle with the internal change management side. It's as much cultural as it is technological, isn't it? Fears about complexity, maybe jobs changing, just the unknown.
Exactly. And sort of related to that, the final big challenge we often see is compatibility. Issues with legacy systems. Just imagine trying to connect a shiny new FSM platform to, say, an ERP system from the 90s, or an old CRM that just wasn't built for real-time data.
Yeah, older software often doesn't play nicely with modern FSM platforms. That creates huge integration headaches and stops companies getting that seamless, unified view they want. It really can block the whole process. It's like, trying to plug a USB-C into a floppy drive.
Okay, so challenges are definitely there. But despite them, things are moving forward fast. So let's shift gears. What are some of the really exciting trends shaping the future of FSM? What's coming next? Well, what's fascinating here, I think, is how AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning are just weaving themselves into everything FSM does. This isn't just, basic route mapping anymore. These AI systems are crunching vast amounts of data traffic, technician skills, parts needed, even how long similar jobs took in the past to predict the absolute optimal route and schedule. And they adjust on the fly for traffic jams, emergency calls, achieving efficiency humans just can't match. AI is really pushing FSM from just being reactive to being truly predictive, even proactive.
Wow, that's pretty incredible how fast that's moving. And then, sort of on the ground, for the technician, another game changer seems to be augmented reality, AR, and these remote support tools. How exactly does AR help a tech in a way that maybe just a video call couldn't?
Yeah, it's way beyond a simple video call. It's interactive. So picture a technician, maybe out in a remote spot wearing AR glasses. An expert who could be hundreds of miles away can literally see what the tech sees and draw on their field of vision. They can highlight a component, point to a wire, guide them step by step through a really complex repair, all in real time. This massively improves first-time fix rates, cuts down on needing a second visit, slashes downtime. It's like having the expert right there beside you, virtually.
That's seriously cool tech.
Yeah, it is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, another huge trend is the surge in subscription-based FSM SaaS software as a service. These cloud platforms offer great scalability. They get updated frequently and automatically, and crucially, the upfront investment is much lower than traditional software. This really democratizes access. It makes powerful FSM tools available to pretty much any business, big or small, from the local plumber up to a global corporation.
That lower barrier to entry must be huge for smaller players. And building on that accessibility, providers are now creating these custom, industry-specific FSM solutions. Why is that tailoring so important? Why not just a one-size-fits-all platform for, say, HVAC versus oil and gas?
Because those industries are just so different. They have unique compliance rules, specific safety protocols, very specialized equipment, completely distinct ways of working. Think about it. A medical device tech works in sterile environments, deals with patient data. An oil and gas tech faces extreme weather, hazardous materials. A generic FSM system just wouldn't work well. These tailored solutions build in the specific features needed, regulatory checklists, special inventory tracking, unique safety workflows right from the start. It makes adoption way smoother and helps ensure compliance.
Makes sense. Tailored tools for specific jobs.
Exactly. And, this raises an important question. How are companies dealing with the skilled labor shortage? That's a big worry in many field service sectors globally. Well, increasingly, FSM automation is helping bridge that gap. Companies are using AI for smarter dispatching, rolling out self-service portals so customers can maybe fix simple issues themselves, integrating chatbots for routine questions. It allows them to maintain service quality and stay responsive, even if their workforce is smaller or less experienced. It's about optimizing every single resource they have.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does this actually mean for you listening? Whether you run a business, you're a customer, or just interested in how things work, it seems pretty clear FSM isn't just new software anymore. It's becoming this essential part of digital transformation in almost every service industry. It's being driven by, well, incredible tech momentum, and let's face it, by your rising expectations for faster, better, more personalized service. It's shaping the efficiency you experience every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with, consider how the lines between products and services are blurring more and more. Technologies like FSM enable this predicting your needs, providing seamless support. How will this fundamentally redefine what customers expect and the experiences they have across nearly every industry in the years ahead? Are we moving away from owning things towards just subscribing to the function they provide? It's quite a profound shift to think about.